Port Moresby on alert. Tussle over mine waste dumping. And nursing college needs attention. Welcome, this is Saturday's News. I'm Charmaine Poreambe. With the rise of additional new and confirmed cases in the nation's capital, Port Moresby will not be going into lockdown. However, strict measures will be enforced. The city divided into different zones. There will be a deployment of military, police and health personnel attached to different parts of the city to have these measures enforced. 10 measures have been issued thus far. Annette Cora reports.
Whilst calls have been made for stronger measures which alluded to a total lockdown of the nation's capital to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, the negative impacts of such measures on the bulk of the population had also to be taken into consideration. Controller David Manning has issued 10 new COVID-19 measures as of this week. These include the revocation of previous measures, international and domestic travels, provincial coordination, burial of deceased persons, customs duty, COVID-19 testing and surveillance, as well as business and social. The latest measure being mandatory mask wearing in Port Moresby. Businesses, schools, public motor vehicles, restaurants, offices with the inclusion of everyone else in the city are expected to make it their business to ensure these strict measures are complied with. The use of alcohol, sanitizers, temperature checks, social distancing and wearing of masks all mandatory as of this week going forward. As of yesterday, one more new case was identified in Port Moresby, now bringing the total of the confirmed cases up to 32. Port Moresby General Hospital is picking up cases as they are doing tests on staff, patients and guardians, this indicating community spread and more cases are expected. Recently, the St. John ambulance has been inundated, responding to a number of respiratory cases across the city.
We've seen a large increase in call volume in NCD in the last 24 to 48 hours. A number of those cases have been COVID-related cases, and we've also seen a general increase in respiratory illnesses that we're being called to. So far, we've transported 19 people to the facilities around NCD who are being treated for COVID-19. This is a real stretch for us at this time. We operate 5 to 6 ambulances a day. We're asking for support from NDOH to increase an extra 2 ambulances so we can staff them purely to support the COVID-19 activities that are happening.
Canon calling for patients, vital support and cooperation from everyone during these busy and unsafe times, and that the ambulance service is doing its utmost best to attend to every call of cases coming in.
Thank the community for understanding that at this time we are immensely busy. So our key message is if you need an ambulance because you are very unwell, you should call 111. If you can make your own way to hospital at this time, we ask people to try their best to make their way to hospital. If you are suffering respiratory symptoms, a sore throat, cough, fever, even a runny nose, if you've got those symptoms, we want you to go get tested. If you need medical treatment, make sure that you tell all the people that are caring for you that you have those symptoms so that we can wear protective equipment when dealing with you. The last thing any of us wants is an ambulance officer or a nurse or a doctor falling ill with COVID.
Annette Cora, National EMTV News.
UNICEF this week delivered more than 100,000 items of personal protective equipment or PPE to the Port Moresby General Hospital for frontline health workers responding to COVID-19 in the National Capital District. These include gloves, surgical masks, protective goggles, face shields, gowns, coveralls, shoe covers, caps and thermometers were procured by UNICEF through funding support provided by the governments of Australia and Japan. UNICEF says the safety of health workers is critical and is committed to ensuring that the protection of frontline health workers continues to remain a top priority. More than 300,000 items of PPE from this procurement are also being prepared with NDOH for provincial distribution in the coming days. Family support is vital to see successful prosecution and conviction of perpetrators of domestic violence. Prime Minister James Marape said domestic violence is a crime and society must rally behind those who report domestic violence and provide support and evidence. Measures are now put in place by police to see that domestic violence cases are dealt with urgency. Prime Minister James Marape, speaking on FM 100's Talkback show, said police have created a pathway in all police stations in the country to effectively attend to domestic violence cases. Police officers who neglect the importance of these cases will be disciplined.
Police are told that if you fail prosecuting matters, it will become a discipline issue for police officers who are not prosecuting matters that are reported. So, first thing first, if you experience domestic violence, report them. Go to a police station near you. There'll be a special pathway for domestic violences being reported.
The Prime Minister added that in PNG there are laws already in place, but the problem we have is witnesses and those who see domestic violence in homes and families not standing up to ensure those that are involved are prosecuted.
You know, some men are also being abused, but on a lesser side. More women are being abused. So if you're abused out there, please go to a nearest police station and you report them, and the community, the concerned family members of the wives or spouses, you provide security and support and care. We are a Melanesian society. One talks out there, you provide security to your daughter or your relative who is being abused, report the matter, prosecute the matter, and get conviction. Conviction secured is a big step in addressing domestic violence in our country.
The Prime Minister was responding to queries by the public on what the government is doing as more women and men die from domestic violence, with a lot of perpetrators walking freely. Tomorrow, EMTV will bring you the final episode of our three-part series on a closer look, dissecting the issue of domestic violence and how PNG is dealing with it. The government has tried to ease tensions over the proposed dumping of mine waste into Moresby waters. Environment Minister Wera Mori says they haven't decided if mine waste will be dumped into the Huon coast. His statement comes as coastal communities express their disagreement with proposal for deep-sea tailings placement.
This is a meeting between officers of SEPA, the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority, the Minister and communities in the Huon Gulf. They're calling gatherings like these consultation meetings. It's a process that's supposed to draw landowner views on the proposed dumping of waste from the Wafui Golpu mine into the Huon Gulf. And there are already serious concerns over the environmental impact this big mining project will have on the people of the Moresby coast.
Still buy me win.
The meetings are reminiscent of a similar process that happened a decade ago in Medang when the government tried to convince the people of Rai Coast to accept the dumping of mine waste into the Basamuk Bay in Medang.
No, DSTP. I'm talking about DSTP. You tell me, who's using DSTP?
Back then, the government had already made up its mind, and it was just a matter of following through with a process to ensure consultation appeared to happen.
We must make sure that this is a biometric.
While the Environment Minister Wera Mori says the government hasn't made a final decision yet, progress of the mine is well underway, with deep-sea tailings placement a crucial part of the equation.
I've got to make sure that what they have proposed and where they propose to basically place the tailings must meet the requirements where it's going to be safe.
Moresby's large Lutheran population also plays into the dynamics of the push to extend the people's voice. The Lutheran Church has expressed that the environment needs to be protected. The government sees this project as a huge catalyst for change, not just for Moresby, but for the rest of Papua New Guinea. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
Northern Governor Gary Jufa says every individual in the public and private sector must promote the country's interest. Speaking in a news conference, Governor Jufa said the country must entertain investors who promote and work within PNG laws. Jufa urged state ministers, government bureaucrats, including the private sector, to encourage local business while protecting and preserving the country's vast resources.
Speaking recently, the Northern Governor spoke highly of selecting reliable investors who can help build a nation and also respect the PNG Constitution. Jufa says the whole government approach must put PNG's interest first. He says government officials should not select expensive contractors and waste public funding.
There was an awarding of a contract for web design by a government department. This contract was awarded to a foreign firm, an Indian firm, a company that existed only for a year, that does not have any physical location as far as we know, that does not employ any Papua New Guineans, at an exorbitant price of 300,000 kina. There are Papua New Guinean web designers who could have done that job for far less.
While there are many other examples, Governor Jufa says Papua New Guinea is now at its challenging times given the harsh economic conditions and the present pandemic threat. He says by all means levels of government want investors who can partner and build service delivery while promoting PNG's resource laws.
On the other hand, we also have a lot of dubious characters that are coming into this country with all manner of schemes and scams and whose only interest is to make money as quickly as they can, take advantage of this country and funnel their proceeds offshore. We can't accept that. We can't allow that. Every government department should be acting as a watchdog. Every government department should be protecting the interests of Papua New Guinea 24/7, 365.
The Northern Governor is urging all state ministers, public servants and big players in the private sector to encourage business with nationals. Governor Jufa says leaders must not look far but operate within the country's constitution and build a nation. He wants to see changes within stakeholders and development partners.
We want genuine investors who will come in here and respect our laws, respect our country. We need investors. We need them to come and help build this nation and this economy. And many are willing to do so. And those are the type of investors that we want to embrace. Those are the type of investors that we want to encourage.
Jacob Harvard Jr., National EMTV News.
This is National EMTV News. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back. A clean and safe environment is everybody's business. With that in mind, staff of Lolowata Island Resort took to the sea, picking up rubbish around the island and the neighboring Lion Island. Lolowata Island Resort is a 10-minute drive outside of Port Moresby, then another 10-minute ferry. It has become an attraction in Central Province for tourism and diving and Port Moresby residents who want to run away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The resort is designed to seamlessly integrate with the pristine surroundings with luxury, attention to detail and comfort in mind. Among the many challenges of operating an island resort is keeping the island free of rubbish. The resort's ground staff does cleaning every day, but today other staff volunteered to help them as part of their contribution in advocating for a cleaner environment.
We got many bags of rubbish, and the reason we chose this weekend too is it's also important for us to promote conservation in the local region. And it's also July Plastic Month internationally, about giving awareness about taking the plastic out of the ocean.
They not only cleaned around the resort, but also the neighboring Lion Island, where most tourists go diving.
At least probably, I would say, 60 kilos of rubbish a day, probably 3 or 4 20-kilo bags, and especially different tides bring in different rubbish. But if we don't clean it up every day, it's really significant amount of rubbish. So we do it every day to keep the island beautiful.
Most of the rubbish comes from neighboring villages along the mainland. Daniel Piasso, who works as a groundsman at the resort, said it's very frustrating picking other people's rubbish every day. He urges the neighboring villages and settlements to put away their rubbish properly.
Coastal people who said Cecily Arrel on Nambis, all work through my rubbish, number, Nabiangen, Solora Karim, Plandi, Barab Sekama Barrel of Place Long, Nambis. Also, Nambla say, give him a time, every day, Mibla say, make him this work.
Following the distribution of relief supplies to flood-affected communities in Doha Central Province, locals have been urged to form cooperative groups. Central Acting Provincial Administrator Francis Kwaba told ethnic groups to form cooperatives. Kwaba said this will help the provincial government partner with the people to deliver goods and services. He said only through cooperatives, levels of government will liaise through ward councillors to channel service delivery using cooperative groups.
Please get yourselves organized, get into your cooperative groups, and asking for how to help you in terms of registering your cooperative societies, so you empower yourselves economically, and you benefit from many of the programs that the good governor will be rolling out for our province.
The newly established Kundiawa Nursing College has seen major infrastructure development in recent years. However, there are some issues faced by the college. The deputy principal says the lecturers are not under government payroll and there is a need for more support from the local member of parliament. He thanked the provincial government for their commitment to invest in the new college.
In a recent visit to the newly established Kundiawa College of Nursing, the deputy principal gave an update of the infrastructure development at the college over the years. So far, they have built 2 male and female dormitories, 3 classrooms and staff offices funded by the provincial government.
The boys and the girls dormitories are both completed. And he has handed over, also done the administration building where the lecturers are.
Kundiawa College of Nursing was established 2 years ago. It has over 200 students from year 1 to year 3 with 9 lecturers and support staffs. Being a fully accredited nursing college, their final year students have been doing practical with Kundiawa General Hospital and other health facilities in the province.
Still waiting for Waigani, Department of Personal Management and the Department of Health. All staff are now catered for by the college. We are like missionaries. We are on short allowances only, but not on government payroll. All 9 staff. We are still waiting for the Department of Personal Management to really register us and put on government payroll.
Despite being a fully accredited nursing college, there are still many challenges. There is a need for a library and mess facilities for students, and lecturers are not on government payroll.
Then they can use the part of the district development plan. They can also support this because we are having students who are also attending this. Currently, we have sent students home because they haven't paid their tuition fees. And unfortunately, they are unable to pay now, and they cannot be able to continue their education because of COVID-19. The parents, most of the students' parents are subsistence farmers.
The deputy principal further adding that recently they have been sending students home due to outstanding school fees. He is calling on local MPs for their support.
The standards with the Nursing Council of Papua New Guinea, with the number of hours and the clinical practice and the protocols and the curriculum, the Nursing Council of Papua New Guinea has visited this college 4 times. And recently, last month, we have been accredited. We are now given provisional accreditation license.
He further highlighted the need for more nursing colleges in the country to cater for the increasing population. Currently, there are only 12 nursing colleges in the country, which is not enough.
Currently, one nurse's ratio is to about of 100,000 patients, and this is chaos. With only 6,000 nurses And we have 8.3 million people in this country, and with less than 1,000 doctors. The national department with the provincial government have to look forward to building enough institutions for our country.
But despite these challenges, they are thankful for the support they have received from the provincial government, and the lecturers are committed to provide the education for the students. Rayon Lakingu, National, EMTV News.
With the Simbu provincial government's commitment to improve school facilities in the province, several schools in Kundiawa have seen major facelift. The projects, worth over 2 million kina, include double classrooms and staff houses in 2 primary schools and a secondary school in the district. Recently, Simbu Governor Michael Dua visited the project sites to see the progress of the projects and to open a new double classroom.
Recently, Simbu Governor Michael Dua visited schools in Kundiawa to see the progress of the projects. The projects include teachers' houses and double classroom for Kundiawa Lutheran Day Secondary School and double classrooms for 2 primary schools. With Lutheran Day High School recently upgraded to secondary school, these facilities will cater for the increasing number of students and shortage of teachers' houses.
So I think this challenge the infrastructure for extra classrooms to come up. We are glad that we have a classroom, building that is catering for 4 classrooms and then houses for all teachers.
The Lutheran Day Secondary School is one of the oldest schools in the province, with most of its facilities deteriorating, and this is the first time they have received support from the provincial government.
Classroom and double classroom, and then another teachers to lab. So on behalf of Boost Construction, as a PRO, na stakeholder belong hega mila time lot of thank you long. Honorable Governor belong Simbu, Michael Dua long support him school.
Gone Primary School was the first government-run school to be established in the 1960s. Over the years, its facilities have deteriorated with no support from concerned authorities. Recently, a newly built double classroom was opened in the school to cater for the increasing number of students.
Student population claim antap tumas bini bokota sumati ni sa long population is a Timbo too. Teachers too, staff ceiling, you make the highest staff ceiling apart from Prinorokwa, gone to MCAT. So infrastructure gone through the big plan needs threat. You imagine that the 9 effect was an infrastructure, it's an ongoing, it has been an ongoing need for God ever since.
A double classroom was also built at Joe Kundano Primary School, another primary school in the district. However, there are other issues faced by the school. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, parents cannot afford to pay school fees. This has resulted in some projects being incomplete.
We have here is the vicinity of the school is the space is too small, and we are thinking of expanding the school, but the landowners want payment, so we are handicapped with this, and we're still waiting, seeking for funds to extend the.
The head teacher further adding that they are also faced with water issues, and there is a need for more support from concerned authorities.
The other problem is water. We don't have running water. We only depend on rainwater. When we have a week or some days of dry season, we normally face problem with water.
Rayon Lakingu, National, EMTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Fidelis Sukina will be back with the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Good night and welcome to Trukai Sports. Several sports in the nation's capital have resumed their competitions after an extended break brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Tauranga Aquatic Center saw the resumption of volleyball competitions. The Amini Park continued their Isuzu Cup 50-over matches. The Bisini Soccer Grounds hosted 7 soccer, and the National Capital District Rugby Union held its trial matches. Several sports competitions started off their season today. in the nation's capital after successful approvals by the Papua New Guinea Sports Foundation under their return to sports protocols. The Tauranga Aquatic Centre saw the return of the National Capital District Volleyball Association, NCDVA, to the courts. With a long absence on the sideline, the competition's athletes had a good hit out in the men's and women's divisions. On the other side of the courts, sharing the Tauranga Aquatic Centre indoor volleyball courts, it was newly established Manubada Volleyball Association with their stunning athletes. A breakaway from the Vabukori Volleyball Association, their competition is unearthing some talent that has been overlooked in other competitions. Over at the Amini Park, home of cricket PNG, the Isuzu Cup, 50-over matches were in full swing. With the Baramandi spread out into 3 teams, the competition is to give the national players game time after a lengthy stint on the sidelines due to COVID-19. Just opposite the Amini courts, the National Capital District Rugby Union competition had its trial matches. The competition was expected to kick off, but with teams not complying with certain COVID-19 protocols, the kick-off has been postponed to next week. Only 3 teams in the competition have complied and were given the opportunity to have matches with each other. The competition's return has seen some scrappy play, but it is expected with an extended off-season. But things look bright for sports in the nation's capital. And that story ends Trukai Sports. You're watching National MTV News, the weather forecast for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region: Port Moresby, sunny and fine; Daru, partly cloudy with drizzles at times; Kerema, fine, partly cloudy with evening drizzles; Alotau, rain showers and cloudy, light to moderate; in Popondetta, partly cloudy with thundery showers at times; in Momase, Lay, partly cloudy with a few showers; Medang, mostly fine, light southeast winds; Wewak, a few showers, then partly cloudy, light to moderate southeast winds; and Vanimo, thundery showers, then cloudy, light to moderate southeast winds. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, fine, partly cloudy with a shower or 2; Cavian, cloudy with evening rain showers; Kokopo Rabaul, partly cloudy with evening shower or 2; Kimbe, partly cloudy with a shower or 2; and Buka, thundery rain showers at times. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy with chance of rain showers; Mendi and Wabek, partly cloudy with some showers; Gorka and Kundiawa, partly cloudy with a few showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that ends the bulletin from all of us here at MTV. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.